Okay, this is a section on anarchism. I consider it the core of the library. So we have introductions to anarchism, anthologies of anarchism, histories of anarchism, anarchist pamphlets, and then the rest are alphabetical by author. Anarchism in general, all the great writers, for a total of over 900 books. Okay, this is cousins of anarchism, very closely related, anti-authoritarian. So we have council communism, libertarian socialism, situationism, the commons, which is back in focus now, surrealism, and then midnight notes, autonomous and open Marxism, early French socialists, the Frankfurt School, and that's it. Okay, this is a section I call the really good stuff after anarchism. It's a very idiosyncratic, personal section of the library. It just consists mainly of a lot of the authors that I've learned a lot from. So I have Marx here and about Marx, and then the rest are alphabetical by author, all very famous people, Edward Said and Ernest Bloch, Gramsci, and so forth. Rosa Luxemburg, George Lukács, and I have Carol Pateman, and then over here we continue with Arundhati Roy, Vandana Shiva, E.P. Thompson, Emmanuel Wallerstein, Raymond Williams, Ellen Wood, great authors. It's a very important section of the social philosophy of the library. This is one of the three unique sections of the library, along with revolutions and work, which you won't find in an ordinary library. So we start with class, the state, property, law, the ruling class, corporations, agribusiness, medicine, psychiatry, schooling, childhood, sports, housing, nationalism, the media, imperialism, war, military, fascism, terrorism, dirty tricks, CIA, FBI, prisons, police, courts, and religion, the ruling institutions. Okay, this is a very important section on revolutions. We start with the peasant revolts in Europe in the 17th century, English Revolution, American Revolution, Haitian Revolution, French, 1848, Paris Commune, Mexican Revolution, Russian Revolution, Germany, 1918-19, Spanish Revolution, Portugal, Hungary, 56, Poland, 80, 81, Eastern Europe. And then the 60s. We got all these books on the 60s. And in general histories, Zapatistas, current movements, Occupy Wall Street, Greece, Rojava, recent revolutionary theorizing, revolutionary strategy. This is about 660 books so far. A unique section of the library on work. So I have general labor history, general U.S. labor history, section on unions, subsection on wobblies, strikes, biographies, the internationals, work in general, workers' control and syndicalism, class composition and consciousness, and co-ops. excellent bookcase. Okay, this is a section on socialism, Marxism, communism. I don't have it busted into subcategories, but I have a lot of the major figures here and histories of socialism. But this is a small representative of a really vast literature. One of the major social philosophy branches, and we have early feminists, second wave, surveys of feminist theories, childbirthing, sex and sexuality, gender, queer, bibliographies, women in work, family, third wave, general works. It's about 300 books. Here's a section on atheism, which has always been important for anarchists, and some most recently added to the collection. And down on the bottom there, I have a shelf full of books on evil. Okay, this is a bookcase full of books about democracy, and there are only half a dozen about direct democracy. Most of these are classical democracy theories. Ancient Greece. I have a section on Robert's Rules of Order. I have a shelf full of books on the Constitution, and most of the rest are sort of liberal theories of democracy. Okay, radical environmentalism. This section needs to be beefed up considerably considering what's happening in the world. But we have global warming, animal liberation, water, Rachel Carson's books, peak oil and energy, and then radical environmentalism in general. This is a section on social philosophy. Most of the library is about social philosophy. This is kind of a catch-all category. Books I haven't filed in other sections. Also, it's more broadly defined. It contains European conservatives and liberals and the whole range of social thought. It's a lot of books. Okay, so all the famous authors are here: Freud, Feuerbach, Hannah Arendt, Heinrich Heine, Alexander Herzen, John Stuart Mill. So this is about 700 books. Okay, here's a whole bookcase full of books about money. We have classic treatises. We have histories of money, surveys of theories of money, the new credit state theory of money as opposed to the barter theory of money, books on the international financial system, books on the World Bank, and so forth. Okay, this is a section on identities, and with two shelves full of books on identity in general, focused mainly on unraveling identity politics. But I also put here African American books and Native American books, although it's not to limit them to this. The arts, it's kind of marginal actually for the library. It's mostly radical social philosophy. Okay, we have music, art, film, theater, John Berger's books, poetry, humor, comics, and literary criticism. Well, here's a section on science, general works, quite a few nature books, I have Jane Goodall, and I have Stephen Jay Gould, Stephen Hawking, and then there's a special shelf on seeing. And here is a section of philosophy. It's standard stuff, mostly, but we have a section on classical philosophy with all the great theorists, and then the Enlightenment, a section on Romanticism, a large section on American pragmatism, and I have some introductions to epistemology. I have a section on postmodernism, and then philosophy of history, philosophy of science, a lot more books on epistemology and philosophy in general. Okay, so this is about 700 books. Okay, this is a large history section, pretty much standard stuff. We have the ancient world, medieval Europe, modern Europe, and then it goes to Russia, Asia, China, Latin America, and Africa. Okay, this is history continued. You see on the left the whole bookcase for the United States. And it's mostly liberal, left liberal, progressive, anarchist stuff. I don't have subcategories. So for the total history section, it's 1,300 books. Okay, this is a bookcase full of quality fiction. It's upstairs. Most of the major authors. There's also another bookcase in the basement with fiction, and then I have boxes full of what I call trash fiction. So there's about 1,000 fiction books in the collection. These are the best. This is a large bookcase full of reference books. Unfortunately, not as well used now that we have the internet. But I have a shelf on language, writing, English books. Favorite shelf of mine on books about words, companions and handbooks, atlases, dictionaries, encyclopedias, word finders, and user guides. Really a lot of excellent books. Very curious section called Curiosities. Just odds and ends that have attracted my attention. History of murder, history of ghosts, the science of Star Trek, and stuff like that. This is our cookbook section. I have it divided into soups, Mediterranean, Greek, Lebanese, Italian, bread, seafood, other national and ethnic cookbooks, herbs, vegetarian, vegan, general cookbooks, specialty cookbooks, meat and poultry, and miscellaneous. We use this a lot. Okay, this is a small section of mainstream social science. It's old stuff from the 60s. I doubt that it will necessarily go with the library when it's moved.